Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Morning Glory Show with me, LaShonda Lee. Truly excited that you decided to plug in today. Listen, in the morning, all things are new. All things are new. Your opportunities are new. Your grace and your mercy is new. This is a day that you have never seen before, and it is a day that you will never see again. And so, you know what? Your job is to rejoice and be glad in this day, and your job is to make the most of this day because as your day, so is your strength. And so, if you pull on the Lord, guess what? You will have everything that you need. And so, listen, we're going to go ahead and jump right into today's topic because today I just really want to talk to you about how to get free from stress and fatigue, right? And how to not break down as we go through our daily lives, our abilities to do what God has called us to do, as we carry out the roles of employee or business owner, wife, mother. We have so many titles, right? And so I want to make sure that I can share with you how to take a break before you break down, right? And so, listen, I could tell you this: whenever you are stressed by the demands of life, the best thing you can do is go to God in prayer. We forfeit a lot of peace because we don't take everything that is going on in our lives to God in prayer. And so, listen, I want you to make sure that you're taking a few moments. Do a deep breath. Inhale and exhale and just let your body relax and ask God to refresh you. Maybe you're studying for an important exam, right? Maybe you're trying to get a license. Maybe you're looking to grow your business and just a lot of things are coming at you right now and you kind of feel that stress and anxiety. This is the time that you go to God and ask Him to refresh you. Be very deliberate about it. Don't let your mind race through one situation after another. But here's the thing: with God's help, you will feel your system calming down and you'll be ready to return to your duties. Just prepare to do them with greater peace, clarity, and concentration. One of the things that I do is I have started practicing meditation, and I do this before I start prayer because guess what? When I go to God in prayer, I don't want all these thoughts. I don't want all these concerns in my space. I want to just be free and open so that I can communicate with God and so that I can hear when God is talking back to me. And so I do like 10 to 15 minutes of meditation prior to even going to God in prayer. And I tell you, it really, really helps. And so I've learned something in my own pursuit of a stress-free life, right? If I want peace and if you want peace rather than the pressure of stress that comes in our life, then you know what? We must choose to seek direction from God in every situation, not just some of our situations like when it comes to our finances or our children or our relationships, but we must seek God's direction in every situation because He has opened the door. He's given us an open door policy to come to Him for anything and everything. God is a God of peace. He always leads us towards peace and joy. He doesn't lead us towards anxiety or frustration. And so anytime that you may feel anxiety, anytime that you may feel frustrated, just know that that's not God. That's not His way. Even if your circumstances are frustrating, you don't have to be frustrated because God has already shown us through His word that we can literally have peace in the midst of a storm. And therefore, we have to be listening for God's voice. If we are to allow Him to lead us towards peace and joy, then that means we have to listen to His voice. And by following His voice, right, we can find that peace and overcome the stress that so many people are dealing with today. And so here's the thing: in order to find peace in our lives, we simply need to obey the prompting God gives us each and every day. I know I get promptings every single day from God. And you know what? A prompting is simply a knowing deep down on the inside of God telling us what to do, right? I remember there's been times where I've been out visiting some of my friends, and maybe I was there a little bit too long, and I got that prompting that, listen, it's time for you to go home. And it's so amazing that every time I followed that prompting, it would be about 5 to 10 minutes later that my husband would come through the door after I have arrived. And I don't know about you all, ladies, but my husband likes for me to be at home by the time he makes it home, right? And so listen, we have to be able to know God's prompting. We need to be able to know when God is telling us what to do. And that is nothing that's going to necessarily happen on the outside of us. It is something that takes place deep down within inside of us. And so here's the thing, a prompting isn't a whack on the head, right? It isn't something that is blatant. God tells us that he speaks to us. His voice comes in a gentle stillness, a small, still voice, right? A prompting doesn't even have to be a voice at all. As a matter of fact, God often gives direction by speaking to our hearts rather than our ears. You know, there are many times God have told me to do something for a person, and when I did it, the response from them was, I've been praying for this, right? I've been asking God for this. You don't know how much I needed this right now. It's because God gives us that prompting, and it's that deep down feeling that comes in the inside of us that tells us what we need to do. And so where is God leading you right now? What is he prompting to do when it tell you to do when it comes to your relationships? What is God prompting you to do when it comes to your business? What has God been prompting you to do when it comes to your family and your children? What has God been prompting you to do when it comes to your health? What has God been prompting you to do when it comes to your finances? What has God been prompting you to do when it relates to your workplace and your boss and your coworkers? What has God been prompting you to do when we're talking about your goals and your visions and your dreams? What have God been prompting you to do? And here's the thing, because a prompting, and since a prompting is very gentle, sometimes we just might question if it's from God or not. Have you ever been in that situation where something deep down on the inside came that you should say or you should do or you shouldn't do? And because it was so subtle, because it was so gentle, because it was so soft, you question whether or not it was from God. And here's the thing, when we are unsure about a prompting, it's often easy for us to ignore it, not realizing that we are ignoring the command that God has given us, right? Not realizing that we have ignored the command. And I can tell you this, when you ignore God's voice, you will find yourself stressed. You will find yourself confused. You will find yourself walking in insecurity. You will find yourself worrying and doubting. You will find yourself frustrated and full of anxiety because you missed the prompting that God was trying to give you, that was leading you towards peace, that was leading you towards happiness, that was leading you towards joy, right? And so you can reach that point where you're just absolutely tired and upset that now you're not even thinking clearly, right? And so if you look back, you'll probably see how many times God have prompted you to do something, and because you didn't follow his prompting, you found yourself stressed out because you were pushed beyond the prompting of the Lord. And listen, you'll be able to know that you've gone too far when you find yourself unable to do the basic things that God have allowed you to do once upon a time. And so here's the thing. If you and I just simply obey the prompting of the Lord when we hear them, guess what? We will find ourselves relieved of the stress from any situation that we find us in. Because remember, God leads us towards peace. God said his peace, he leaves us. And so that means that we never have to be absent of his peace. It's only when we don't move in the direction that he's calling us to move that we find ourselves stressed and without peace. And so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Simply learn to listen to God and do what he says. And when we do this, we'll discover that things will go absolutely well for us. No matter what the situation is, we need to listen to God and obey his voice. As a matter of fact, Proverbs 3 and 6 tells us that in all of our ways, know, recognize, and acknowledge him, and he will direct and make straight and plain our paths, right? And here's the thing. We may not always understand the reasons that God is asking us to do certain things, but as we begin to listen to his voice and obey, because it's one thing to listen, it's a whole nother thing to obey. So as we begin to listen to his voice and obey his direction, we will be able to experience a peaceful calmness as our stress levels begin to decrease. And so listen up to God and begin to de-stress your life. And so listen, if you found yourself stressed and you know that right now you need to take a break before you break down, now is the time to get silent with God so that you can hear his promptings, because his promptings are designed for you to take the best path. His promptings are designed so that you will have peace. His promptings are designed so that you will have joy and happiness. Yes, some of the circumstances that we find ourselves in can be frustrating because God is preparing us for bigger, greater, and better. But listen, even in the midst of the storm, you can have peace, you can have joy, and you can have happiness. But it will only happen if you take a step back and listen to God's voice, which is his promptings, the thing that is deep down within you telling you what is right and the things that you should and should not do. So listen, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Make sure that you are open to receive the promptings of God so that the stress that may be taking place in your life is reduced and even eliminated. So listen, enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the Morning Glory Show. Do me a favor. Make sure that you share this video. Make sure that you share this video because you may know someone right now that is overwhelmed, that is burned out, and full of stress. And they need to know that there is an easy way. There's an easier way to walk this path, to walk this journey, to be victorious, to conquer any and everything that comes before them. But it will not happen outside of God. So listen, make sure that you share this video. And do me a favor, if you want to know a little bit more about ways to help you de-stress and become more successful, more sufficient, more efficient and effective in your day-to-day journey, go ahead and visit my website, www.walkinfavorinc.com. There you'll get free trainings, you'll get free resources and tips to help you along the way. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye now. There is not. Do you mean to? Why this? I don't get it. I didn't try to do that.